Hello and welcome to your daily astrology and tarot horoscope for today, which is September 3rd, 2014, and it's a Wednesday. Wednesday, the planet of the day is Mercury, and Mercury influences communication, speech, creativity, fast thinking, those types of things. I'm trying to align the planet of the day more with the card of the day, since I've really covered in previous videos. If you watch throughout the month or look at any previous video, I always start out with the planet of the day, and I always talk about ways to align with that energy. Of course, on a Wednesday, you can just align by being creative, making sure that if you only journal one time during the week, you make that a Wednesday to honor Mercury, the god of communication. But in terms of the planetary day, what's going on with our cards is the Zen Osho Card deck. I pulled this card, which you can see is basically, it's the clouds card, so it's air, and air in, more traditional tarot decks like the Rider-Waite deck is the swords. So this would be a Nine of Swords card, and this card, this Nine of Swords card, has been pulling up for me in several decks. It's been just coming up in my life everywhere, and it's really hard for me to assess what the hell it means, because to me it's not a major life event. It's not a major arcana card, so it's not this major spiritual thing that's going on or that I really need to listen, or it's an important phase, and because it's just transitory. It's just a minor arcana. It's the clouds, they're so easy to get out of the clouds. You can ground yourself through, if you're a lot of times you get in the clouds because you hadn't eaten, so you can eat some food. You can uncloud yourself by just taking a nap, waking up and being refreshed, and kind of sleeping it off. So what I'm realizing in my life is a lot of the people around me are going through this Nine of Clouds energy in particular. There's been at least 3 or 4 friends I've been helping through astrology and tarot just right now, and it's just been kind of like this influx and surge of people wanting to connect with me and relate to me in this, and I'm just seeing a lot of these people being sad. One of the major things that the Nine of Clouds is going to represent for you today is if you're going through the doldrums, if you're sad, this represents somebody who's sad, but he sat with his pain. And through sitting with his pain, as cliche as that sounds, is he's gained enlightenment. He really, really tried to understand it. He really, really tried to feel it fully. And through that, he understood what the lesson was all about. And that's the only thing I can encourage you today on Wednesday, September 3rd of 2014, is that this Nine of Sorrow is a passing phase, and it is one of the cliche things of it's a lesson to be learned. Can you sit with that pain? But I found it funny because on Saturday I found this card on the ground. So this card is pulling, this is the spade, so it's the swords, Nine of Clouds, and this is what the card looks like. I mean, there's never a happy moment for this card in a tarot deck. So you pull it up, it's probably not something you're looking forward to seeing. But the thing for me is a 9 in typical numerology is the ending of a cycle and an ending of a phase. So it's sort of like the worst is behind us, now we're dealing with it, and it's going to be over soon. And that's the only thing I can say about it, is don't overly stress. This is not some long-term thing. You can get over the mental funk and be more rejuvenated come Thursday, but just try to sit with it and understand why you're getting into it. So I just find it fascinating. Whenever I find cards on the ground, even this dirty card, I pick up and keep, because what is the significance? And to me, the significance is outer people in my life experiencing this and how I can connect with them and remind them the positive message that is in here. I mean, there's definitely a sad message and things to think about, but it's the John Lennon song, feel your own pain. So don't try to escape it. That's the most important lesson. So in terms of, we've covered the planet of the day, we've covered the Osho Zen card of the day, and the extemporaneous spontaneous card that I like to pull in my readings is going to be from the Wild Unknown deck. I'm learning this deck with you, and I thank you for your patience. And so the card of Wednesday from the Wild Unknown deck is the Son of Cups. Now, cups are water, they're emotional, they're intuitive, they're a little bit more social, so it's sort of like the beginning phase of just see how you're connecting with people, and you know, a lot of the times they'll say that these court cards represent actual people in your life. So if you want to do something a little bit more fortune telling-y, then you would really look towards this person. You know, he's young, he's intuitive, he's younger. You know, he's a man, and he, you know, to me, the Son of Cups, because it's the water, it's a little bit more gentle. It can connect to you on a very feeling and emotional level. And see how this guy is coming in. Maybe this is the person who can really just help you gently through that Nine of Swords doldrum that we're going through here on Wednesday, September 3rd. Now it's time for the astrology of the day, which is really sad that I didn't pull this up before. The major thing that we're still going through, though, while I pull this up, is the fact that the Sun is trining Pluto. And that's a pretty big event. That's a lot of, you know, Pluto is the dark planet of the chart, and the Sun is the light planet of the chart. And when they make an easy aspect to each other, their powers are, they're two of the most powerful planets in an astrology chart, first of all, and in modern astrology. And second of all, they're trining each other in an easy flowing aspect. So what that means is, yeah, when two planets and earth signs get together, they can really relate to each other because they know the wants and needs of earthy, you know, of earthy feelings. So what's going on there for all of us is the fact that there's going to be some wanting to grow and change and figure out more powerful and higher level ways of using our resources. Any way that we're not using our resources in a powerful and uplifting and shining way will definitely thwart us at any cost. So to me, Pluto is the very all or nothing planet. If you're doing something that's not aligning with the proper purpose of the time, Pluto lets you know in a very destructive and powerful way. So it's kind of funny how traditional astrologers say that, you know, modern astrologers call them negative, but in reality, modern astrologers created 3 new malefics, and so it is much easier to approach Pluto in an incorrect way, which would make it a malefic planet. But the only thing I can say is I have Pluto conjunct my Sun right now, and it is actually one of the most powerful and energy-giving aspects I've ever had in my life. I don't have a lot of fire in my chart, and I am fired up and charged, especially in areas that are of great transformation and great healing for me and for others. So as long as I'm doing fields like that, I just get bursting with energy. And Pluto, that Pluto energy is available today as it's trining the Sun. The other thing that's going on is I gotta see the chart. Oh gosh, do I have this chart? Okay, you know, Mercury is now 2 degrees into Libra. Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention is now the Sun is, we're in the first quarter Sun-Moon phase. So that happened about yesterday, and it's still going. We'll still consider this the first quarter Moon phase. If you look out the Moon tonight, you'll see how it's halfway filled, and that's considered the first quarter because then it'll become full, then it'll become the third quarter, and then it'll be a new moon. And in the first quarter moon, which you should be looking out for, those practical, you know, it's a compelling energy because it's a square. The moon is in square with the Sun. And when the moon squares the Sun, you need to think about those new moon intentions you set back in the new moon for Virgo. And think about what areas are compelling you to take an action that you need to make sure you take an action to be successful in those wishes and intentions. So it's a call to action right now with the moon phases going on. Mm, 30, 60. You know, Jupiter is no longer squaring Mars and all that. I mean, all these hard aspects that were happening are going away. I mean, Venus and the Moon are trine today. That's another big aspect that's happening. September 3rd, 2014 at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the Moon is about 2 degrees away from being an exact trine in Sagittarius at 25 degrees to Venus at 27 degrees. So this is going to be a very beautiful, emotional day. So when I see that Nine of Swords, I mean, you can, if you can at all, which is a sad tarot card, if you can at all tap into the energy of this, of the, the emotional, nice and gentle moon. It's in a fire sign, but if you can tap into where Venus is in Leo, trining the moon, that's just wonderful, happy. Venus is the lover. She's beautiful. She's kind. She's generous. She doesn't force things. And the moon comes around, and she's another passive element. So you can just really engage in that kind of feminine, sort of abundance and law of attraction energy, especially through your emotions and just being kind and gentle with people. And that can be a very powerful use of you today, especially in getting out of that Nine of Swords tarot card that we have been pulling. So I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. My name's Nicholas, and thanks a lot.